Hello, so last episode we had a little look at Gradle Nebula OS package, bundling up our Java apps and installing them onto our Ubuntu or Debian distribution. And one thing I missed last episode was, if you actually followed along in the video, I didn't bundle into the Debian package any scripts at all. So the pre-uninstall, post-uninstall, pre-install, post-install, none of those are bundled in. So when the actual service was installed, it'll essentially install as the root user, which is a serious security flaw which you don't want happening at all. So I'm just going to go over that right now. If you have a look on the actual GitHub link I put into the video, you'll see that I've already done this, but I just want to quickly go over it now. Netflix the web flux app, right? If I have a look at the build.gradle, if I go to the create deb task, you see I've added a couple of files here. So OS package supports all these, like pre-install, post-install, pre-install, and it'll kind of handle all the bundling for you. So if you can see here, I've got a pre-install script, post-install, pre-install, post-uninstall script. So if I just go through those now quickly, cd scripts, the pre-install. So before the actual Debian package is installed, it's going to add a group first. It's going to add it as a system account, and this -f here is just don't worry about it if it already exists. Don't create a new one or whatever. And we're just going to call it a WebFlux app group, and we want a user that's assigned to this group. And again, it's going to be a system account. We've also got like create a directory structure for it as well. So that's our pre-install. If we'll have a look at my post-install, that's basically when we create our directory that stores all the jars that our systemd kind of launches our WebFlux app from. We want to make sure that entire directory structure is owned by the WebFlux app user, and this is what this does here. We're going to chown it recursively opt WebFlux app. And if we have like multiple versions of this Debian, I'm kind of updating it, and I run another install on a new release, then I want to make sure that the process, the WebFlux app process, is actually not running. So this is what this pre-uninstall does. Just does a ps-ef and greps for WebFlux app. .jar, and if that returns a row, then we know it's actually running, the process is running, we need to stop it, and that's what that's done here. Service WebFlux app stop. And the post uninstall doesn't actually do anything, but I put it in anyway. Just echo uninstall successful. Doesn't actually do anything at all. So if I do an install, let me just double check that I've removed it first. Let me remove it first. Sudo app remove WebFlux app, move it. Okay, and let's install it again. Okay, sudo app install, build distributions, WebFlux app. There we go. And that's reinstalled for us. Let's do a systemctl daemon reload. Daemon reload. Systemctl. Okay. Again, double check the service is running. Yep, it is. Now, if we go into our opt folder and have a look, see it's owned by WebFlux app user. If we go into our WebFlux app, and it's all recursively, it's all owned by our WebFlux app user. Every file and every folder within our opt WebFlux app. Okay, now if we actually do a ps-ef and we do a grep for WebFlux app.jar and then a grep-v grep, otherwise it'll return two rows. And we don't care about the actual grep row itself. So ps-ef grep WebFlux app.jar does return a row. You see that the user bin java -jar WebFlux app.jar service is running, and the WebFlux app user actually owns it. It's actually running it. Okay, that's all well and good for our local Ubuntu installation, but if we want to put it online, I'm gonna just quickly show you how to do that with AWS. Okay, and what I'm gonna do within my ec2 dashboard, I'm going to launch a brand new instance, and I'm gonna run it on Ubuntu Server 16.04. Ubuntu Server 16.04. Okay, you want the free tier 1, this one here. Select it. We want it to be a T2 micro because that's in the free tier, won't cost us anything. I've only got one VPC. The subnet within that, I want the external subnet. That's something I've just set up myself. I'm not actually sure what it defaults to, what your subnets default to. I think possibly all of them might be external. We want to auto-assign it a public IP address. Don't care about an IAM role. Yeah, that's it, just one instance of it. And storage, minimum required 8 gigabytes. Tags, I don't care about any tags. Next security group. Okay, we want to make sure SSH port is open, 22 open to everyone. I don't care about security at the moment. We'll probably get to that in a later episode, but this is really insecure because everyone essentially on the internet has SSH access, and if they got all your key, then you're screwed. Yeah, you're screwed. Also want to add another rule. Because this app is listening on port 1891, I want to expose that port to everyone as well. Okay, review and launch. Let's launch that. We need to assign a key pair. I've already created a NetflixOSS key pair. If you don't actually have the key pair, then you'll never be able to SSH onto your box. So make sure you actually do have that key. Okay, launch instance. And here our instance is actually launching. Okay, it'll take a minute or two. And you see we've already got a public IP address there. Just need to wait a little bit. Any minute now. So while we do that, I'm going to navigate back to the Netflix directory. CD Webflux app. Did I already build it? Yes, I did, because I just installed it. I go into the build, distributions. What I want to do is copy this Webflux app Debian over to the new ec2 instance. And there we go, it's already running. Let's just see if I can actually SSH into it. Just copy that public IP there, SSH. Minus I. .SSH. Netflix.pen. Ubuntu at. And then paste that in. Yeah. There we go, I'm into the Ubuntu instance, the ec2 instance. Okay, now I know I can get in, I can just get out of that. And what I want to do actually is add my identity file to a SSH config, which I don't actually have, so I have to create one. Host identity file. .ssh NetflixOSS.pen. So now I don't have to specify the identity file whenever I want to SSH in. Let's see if that works. Yeah, we're in. That's all good. Now I want to copy that Debian file over. So to do that, quite simple, an SCP. Copy that to Ubuntu at my IP. I want to copy it to the home your Ubuntu directory. There we go. Now that's copying over. Easy. Now if we SSH back into it, you see our Webflux app there is ready for install. This will actually fail now. Sudo apt install for one very simple reason, but I'll just show you the error message. Try and install it. I need to try and install that. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, I missed something vital. Let's have a look at my build.gradle again. Right, build.gradle. Oops. Alright, let's go to my create deb. Oh yeah, I should have. That shouldn't have worked. Let me just whoops. Gradle clean. Let's just change the version, shall we? Version 13. I wanted that to fail, man. Gradle clean. Gradle clean build. Create deb. CD. What was it? Build. Distributions. Okay, now I want to SCP that over. Version 13. SSH. See what's in there. Let's remove version 12. Now let's try and install version 13. App install. There we go. There we go. It's installed it, but it's not actually going to start the service. Service Webflux app status. See, it's loaded. So if we start it, sudo service Webflux app start. Failed. And the reason it's failed is because we don't actually have Java on our system. See, we don't actually have Java yet. So it's a Java 8 app. We need to make sure we've installed that first. And we can do that with the Debian package. You see, my version 12 already had it, but I changed it a little bit for this episode because I wanted to go through that first. So our app doesn't actually start on our ec2 instance because we don't have Java installed. So we can do that with our Debian package. If you go into build.gradle, what we need to add, our Java app depends on Java, so we need this requires. And because it's Java 8, we need Java 8, runtime, and headless. Java 8 runtime headless, and that's just going to install OpenJDK for us on our ec2 instance. Headless essentially means if you're not working with GUIs, you just use the headless one. It's fine. Because because I've changed that, I'm going to change it to release 14. Okay, there we go. And then I do a Gradle clean build, create deb again. You see it's a hell of a lot quicker than the last episode because I have actually installed Gradle 4. So if I go back to this build distributions and I do my SCP again, but copy over version 14. SSH in. There I got version 14 on there. Let's just remove version 13. I also need to, let's just do a app remove webflux app. Let's just uninstall it first. Okay, now sudo app install dead. So my confusion just there is because I saw open JDK8 in there, but my build.gradle didn't specify that, so that's why I was confused, because I thought this version, the previous version had it, but version 12 shouldn't have. But that's how, I guess, caching the Gradle. I want to continue with that, yes. So it's going to install all that for me. Okay, so now if I do a service, webflux app status, I'll need to start that. And now that's loading up for us. Okay, so now if I do my curl localhost 8091, hello. There we go. That's on our ec2 instance, and because I've also got public DNS as well, I can go there, but I know it's on 8091. Hello. There we go. So that's our app put onto an ec2 instance, and it's, I didn't need to use Docker at all. Everything is kind of contained within this .deb, and there we go. That's just a simple hello world for ec2 using NetflixOSS package. Now, there's absolutely no security involved in this. I've exposed my SSH ports to everyone on the internet, so that's no good. That'll need to be sorted, and I'll go over that in another episode actually. And next episode, what I want to do is automating this whole process. It's all well and good me going through the console, setting up an ec2 instance, but you don't want to do that with every single app that you have. So I'll go over next episode actually automating that whole process. And so there, thanks for watching. See you next episode.